folks, you're still listening to Too Many Movies, the podcast where we discuss DVDs, Blu-rays, and even the occasional VHS tape. I'm your host, Tal, and who's with me here? Oh, that's right, it's Biff. Hello, Biff. Welcome back.
Oh my god, it's me.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. I know who that is.
It's me, everyone. It's Biff.
Yeah. What was his name again? Oh, right, me.
Yeah. What's his name? Oh, it's me.
I just watched The World's End, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah, not yet, Minion, not yet, because we have two other movies to talk about before that. Oh, Biff, it's been years since the Eight Crazy Nights episode. You're back. This is an episode I feel like we've wanted to talk about. I mean, the number one episode we've wanted to do is Chuck E. Cheese and the Galaxy 5000. Let's be real, but
absolutely
in due time, Biffo. In due time. Don't worry.
Not yet, Minion. Not yet.
One might say. I wouldn't say that, but you know. Anyway, I think this is number 2 though, and that would be the Cornetto trilogy. If you couldn't already tell, I mean, you clicked on the video, you clicked on the episode on Spotify or wherever you listen to this, maybe some illegal Filipino website where they have I've looked up Too Many Movies on Google before, and it shows up on some podcasting services that I've never signed up for, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I guess they just steal it from Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so that's really funny. So
all publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, so if you're illegally listening to this in Russia, cool. Anyway, point is, we're talking about the Cornetto trilogy, Biff. These are some movies I've always wanted to talk about. I actually have talked about it on the channel before, because I'm pretty sure I did a video on them way back when, but that's when I did videos.
You did. It's a good video. I remember that one.
I don't remember anything about it. I probably said that they all sucked and they were bad movies. That sounds like something I would say. Yeah. No. So I have a Blu-ray for all 3 of these. It's like one of these Blu-ray. So I was going to say, like, oh, we're talking about the Cornetto trilogy, the unofficial trilogy. I feel like if all 3 movies are on a Blu-ray set, they're kind of an official trilogy, you know? Because even though none of the movies connect with each other story-wise, we still consider them a trilogy, you know? What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure Edgar Wright himself considers them a trilogy, doesn't he? Like,
yeah.
Because like they have like the same director, same main 2 leads, even like some overlapping themes about society and the likes, and also they do have ice cream.
Yeah. At one point or another, yes. Yeah. So so even though they have nothing to do with one another, yeah, I think it is safe to say this is a trilogy. But hey, no place better to start than the first one, and that is Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead. Not only the very first Cornetto trilogy movie, Edgar Wright's first major movie too, because he was directing. He did that show like Spaced, right? Something like that.
Something. I'm not too familiar with his like
I've
super early work. It's mainly like the big 5 or 6 or however many films. Everything except Soho, in terms of like his features, is the stuff I'm familiar with from this century.
Yeah. But yeah, Shaun of the Dead was his very first one. Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, Simon Pegg, and Edgar Wright wrote it. And it's a horror comedy. So all 3 of these movies are comedies in one way or another, but this one's specifically horror adjacent. Get us started, dude. What did you think of Shaun of the Dead?
So Shaun of the Dead is a horror film, a genre I'm not usually a fan of because I scare way too easily. But because Shaun of the Dead's more like a horror by technicality and more like because of like some of the gore and horrific imagery, and is mainly like a romantic drama comedy, I think I'm able to connect with those elements a lot better. Like I really click with Edgar Wright's sense of humor. I think his style of directing is really solid, especially for so early in his career, and like the emotional stuff really hits home for me.
Yeah. See, I mean, I'm just gonna say I'm the complete opposite. I love horror. Not normally. Like I wasn't growing up being a horror fanatic. I wouldn't describe myself as that. I did scare easily as a child. So it's really funny that I've grown up into this adult that will watch hardcore horror movies and really get a kick out of them. It's interesting that way. But I mean, that's just something I've disagreed with people who say they hate horror, because it's like, I don't know. I find it kind of weird when you say you don't like an entire genre. But I mean, to what you said, like, hey, this is one you can get into, even though you don't like the genre in general. And I feel like, there's always going to be movies of that caliber, especially in horror. There's plenty of movies that I would definitely say, stand out. That even people who scare easily, so to say, would still get something out of it. Yeah, and I think horror comedies especially are the easiest horror movies to get into. Ones that are just, even ones that are not trying to be comedies, like horror movies of that caliber are easier to get into than, say, the really scary stuff. But I think Shaun of the Dead, from what I can gather, is a very well-beloved movie. I would assume by people, non-horror and horror fans alike, because I mean, it's just so fucking good,
Absolutely. I think like so it's not like I have a dislike for horror
Sure.
itself, because I have like a lot of respect for the genre.
Yeah.
I think some of that respect does seep through into Shaun of the Dead, particularly in regards to like the makeup and the effects work. Like,
Yeah.
there's like a kill towards the end of the movie that is fucking nasty with its practical effects work, and it is like, it really grossed me out the first time I saw it, but
Is
on
it
every
David's?
subsequent it's David's. Yeah, I didn't know if we were jumping into spoilers right away.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, spoiler alert. Yeah, David dies.
yeah.
Spoiler alert. We're going to be spoiling these movies.
It's like and even beyond like the obvious big moment of David getting his like innards pulled out and ripped limb from limb.
Mm-hmm.
I think like the makeup work both on the zombies and like the damage that's done to our protagonists, I think they look really worn down by the end of the movie. Like Sean, Liz, and Ed are all like covered in blood. Ed especially, he really looks like he's had like a chunk ripped out of him, even though like he hasn't actually. They're just like concealing that part of him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the makeup's
it
really
looks
good.
so good.
Yeah. No, the prosthetics especially. I mean, that one thing I want to get into with this movie is that you can tell it's made by people who have a love and respect for this specific subgenre. Not just, I mean, horror in general, I would argue, but also like the specific subgenre of zombie horror films. It's clear that Wright and Pegg are massive, massive fans of like, the original George Romero zombie movies of way back when, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead. I think even why am I blanking? Day of the Dead. Why did I just blank for a second there? The third George Romero Dead movie. Yeah, I mean, it's because I'm pretty sure I remember hearing this somewhere. I don't remember where, but like the opening music of Shaun of the Dead is the exact same music in Dawn of the Dead. And they even play like a song that was in Dawn of the Dead originally, like during the credits as well. So there's a lot of overlap between those movies.
Yeah. I'm surprised. Like I can't believe Shaun of the Dead has a lot of parody and tribute to Dawn of the Dead. I really would have never guessed that from.
They sound
the
very
name.
similar when you think about it.
Yeah, I think like the title alone is like really genius at telling you exactly what kind of movie it's gonna be going in. Like it's like a kind of tongue in cheek like jab to an extent at those kinds of horror films, like because it does like a lot of those tropes, but a lot of like jokes thrown in. It's not always taking itself super seriously, but I think that works completely to its favor because it never feels like it comes from a place of contempt for the genre.
Right.
It feels very loving.
Oh yeah, that's the point. Yeah, is that it definitely feels like it's made by fans, people who understand that there are tropes to this genre, but they still love and appreciate the tropes because they love the genre so much. Yeah, it's definitely made by people who love these types of horror movies and want to pay homage to them in a loving way, not in like a goofy loving way, not in a way where they're just like, oh, we can do these tropes better. It's like, no, there's no sense of entitlement with that. And that's what I really love about this movie is that I feel like you still get that in Hot Fuzz and World's End, but I feel like this one specifically, there's like a genuineness, a genuine love for the specific genre of movies that's really present here. Because,
Hmm.
like I said, there's probably there in Hot Fuzz and World's End, but it's more prominent in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say like in Hot Fuzz, it's maybe more directly blatant because they do just outright watch some action films
Right.
during the film.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I think Shaun of the Dead like does a lot of like the same kind of tropes. Like it's impressive to me that they do the whole like one person gets bit and they don't tell the group, and they actually have that trope that gets ragged on a lot. They have it be believable in that context because like it's well established that Barbara doesn't really know what's going on with like the
Yeah.
zombie stuff.
And I get the feeling that it's also just not commentary, but it's just like kind of it's the joke is that, oh, it's the mother character, and it's the mother is this of that generation woman where she's like, I didn't want to be a bother. It's like, but
Hmm.
you literally got bit, Barbara. Like,
Yeah, it's the same with Philip because he gets bit earlier and like he's constantly insisting like, no, I've ran it under a cold tap. I don't
yeah.
need to go to the
Yeah,
doctor. It's
I'm
fine.
fine, Barbara. Yeah, he's again of that generation where he's like, nah, I'm fine, dies. Yeah, yeah, it's so true.
Yeah, I think like another trope they do really well is like they have the mean parental figure who gets like who makes amends with their kid right as they're dying, but like I don't know that scene with like Philip saying that he wished he could be like a role model for Sean and that and then like coming to terms with each other right before Philip dies. I thought that was like really emotionally powerful.
Dude, the emotions in these movies, in this one specifically, I mean, in the next two definitely, but if we're talking about Shaun of the Dead specifically right now, the emotions in this movie, you're like, holy shit. They really get to you. Yeah. Because as funny as this movie is, and it is very, very funny, like sometimes I was crying laughing. It was so funny. But also, yeah, like that scene where Bill Nighy is giving his all and Simon Pegg is giving his all. And it's like this really, it honestly like trumps over most dramas I've seen in my life. I'm like, holy shit,
Yeah.
dude. Like, this is awesome. Yeah. But again, it's because it's a really good balance because you have that scene of Philip saying, hey, I wish I was a better role model. And then he fully succumbs to the zombiness. And then when they're out of the car and, and Sean saying to his mother, "Hey, there's your whatever was left of your husband is no longer in there," and then the Philip
He turns
zombie
off the
he
music.
turns off the
It's
music.
so good.
That's a really good joke, and it's a really good character moment. Like that's really
Yeah.
funny.
I mean, like another like underspoken bit of that scene that I really like is where he's like, "No, he's not my dad," but like he follows that up with "not anymore."
Yeah,
Like, he was, but not anymore. I think like it's a great way of showing that they like made amends in
yeah.
Philip's final moments.
Well,
I think like
it's a
oh
great
sorry,
running thing because yeah, the whole movie up to that point, every time they'd be like, "Oh, how's your dad?" and he go, "He's not my dad. He's my stepdad." You know,
hmm
and then they bring that back where he's like, "He's not my dad." No, literally, he's a zombie now. Um,
yeah,
I mean that's a thing that happens in a lot of Edgar Wright films is just the dialogue is so snappy because it's brought back. You know, there's all these
yeah.
running things going on. We're like yeah, running jokes, running gags, running themes, just everything is connected. Like nothing that's said in the first part like everything that's said in the first part comes back to play later in the
Mhm.
movies in some way or another. Nothing is
Yeah.
wasted. They use every part of the buffalo.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of ones that like come back in like comedic fashion. Like there's the whole like telling Pete to leave Ed alone, and then that comes back as like a kind of a corny but in an intentional way one liner right before he kills the zombie of Pete. That's
Leave him
fun.
alone.
You've
Yeah.
got like Ed playing the game and Sean giving him directions, and then that comes back in the climax with like Sean's like firing the actual gun and Ed's giving him directions.
Yeah.
And
Even
then
no, go ahead.
oh, sorry, go and I think my absolute favorite one comes back in like in an emotional scene. Like at the start of the movie, like they have the I'm sorry Sean scene with like where like Ed just like farts and it's just like a goofy, silly moment between
Yeah.
friends. Like
No,
it makes the
Sean, I'm
fart joke
sorry.
work. And then in the climax, like at the very end, they almost made me cry over a fart joke.
Dude, the fact that they had a fart joke in an emotionally tense scene like that, like one of the, like literally Ed's about to die and they pull a fart joke and it doesn't distract from the tone. Like this is his first movie, by the way. Like that is insane that somebody can do that. Edgar Wright can masterfully do that. Put a fart joke in the middle of one of the most intense situations in the climax and it doesn't take away from the emotions. It enhances it even.
Yeah, it's like I think it is generally one of the movies to have the greatest emotional effects on me because I'm not someone who like has ever like at least past the age of like 7 or 8 cried at a movie,
Mm-hmm.
but there's like a select handful that have gotten close. But the majority of those kind of rely on like pre-established emotional connection, like
Mm-hmm.
usually in like sequels, like a Back to the Future 3 or Toy Story 3 or stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's some that like just like really warmed my heart in the moment. Like there's a scene in Kiki's Delivery Service that did it, but I
Mm-hmm.
think Shaun of the Dead is one of like two movies, the other being A Silent Voice, where it has gotten me close to tears purely off its own merits. No cheap
Yeah.
shots, no pre-established connection with the characters beforehand. It just built the drama of the story so well that when it hit its like biggest emotional moment, that being Sean having to shoot his own mother,
Oh,
that's like it really got me.
yeah. Like, oh my god, him having to shoot his own mother. Jesus Christ, dude. I thought this was a comedy. Where's the funny?
What's even more appalling is that like as like they're all mourning it, and I especially love that like Ed starts crying as well. That's always a great like way to get me by having like the
Yeah.
goofy character
Yeah.
fully break that for once. But as the camera's pulling back, you hear David cocking the gun, and then it enters the frame. That is appalling.
Oh, dude, yeah, no, and then David, yeah, in that scene, Ed is even like the character who's not serious at all, who has been fucking up the entire movie. He understands the emotional weight of the situation better than David does.
Yeah, because like he jokes about like, oh, I love Barbara, and like just jokes about wanting to bang Sean's mum the whole time. But
Yeah,
when she does die, he like genuinely cares. Like
yeah,
he's putting on this like this is how he shows he cares kind of goofy mentality, but he did genuinely care for her, and I think that's in a way sweet.
yeah. Well, that's what I love about Ed is that yeah, he is the specifically goofy comedic character because a lot I mean yeah, Sean himself is a very funny character because they're all funny characters, but a lot of the intentional comedy does come from Ed. He's the the big fat slovenly sidekick character.
Mhm.
But Nick Frost is such a genuinely good actor that yes, he's able to be this really goofy character, but also hold this emotional weight in him as well.
Like I think the sincere deliveries of "I'm sorry, Sean" in both times that he does it are really good. I really like the scene where like Sean is just going off at him for like getting on the phone in the middle of the zombie crowd.
Yeah.
And like even though Ed doesn't say anything in response, you can like tell just from his body language and facial expression that what Sean said really did get to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, is fantastic. I think that scene as well is like a pivotal point for Sean's arc because like the whole movie is about him going um from like a meek and unable to stand up for himself and just kind of going through the same monotonous routine to like taking charge and not so much becoming like an ultra competent action hero because that's the next movie,
Mhm.
but more like being able to like again take charge and be assertive when he needs to be and stick up for himself, become less
Yeah.
of a loser.
Yeah, he's essentially growing up. This is I feel like this is something that I feel like any adult kind of figures out eventually, because you're not just an adult overnight. It's something you learn. It is, you as an adult, especially in your 20s, which I am, we all are. You're starting to figure out, oh, I'm not a child anymore. I need to start taking responsibility. I think in the modern day, you could still have, things you like that you liked as a kid. You could still like them as an adult, but you do need to grow up and, be responsible and be mature. You can be silly and goofy like Ed sometimes, but you need to be Sean, where it's you can be silly and goofy, but you also need to be mature. You need to take charge. Obviously, we're never gonna, you know, experience what Sean did, where we have to grow up in that sort of case in the zombie apocalypse. But there's still that idea of I'm getting older. I need to start taking charge, taking more responsibility, being more mature. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I think like it does kind of hit home for me in a way now that it didn't the last couple times I watched it, which
Yeah.
the last time before this was about 2 years ago. Because like in recent years, I have had to become more like not so much like maturing as I grew up because I've been making a conscious effort with that anyway, but more in the sense of like not letting people walk over you and being upfront when someone's
Right.
done something out of line like that.
Yeah.
So like that scene when Ed's on the phone being what finally makes Sean just step in and say, right, no, you're not fucking doing this to me right now. I think that it does it does mean something different to me now than when I last watched it.
Yeah, no, definitely. It definitely hit harder now that I'm in my late 20s. And Sean is supposed to be in his late 20s in this one, too. Yeah, it definitely hits harder. That scene where he's like talking with all the his coworkers before the zombie apocalypse starts, and they're all like 17. He's just like, "Hey, man, I'm not that old. I'm only 29." I love that scene specifically because he's like talking with that kid, and because he's berating the kid for being on his phone the whole time, and he's like, well, what's wrong with you like taking a phone call every once in a while from your girlfriend? And he's like, I never do that. And then like Liz calls, and one of the other kids like hands him the phone, and you just see the hand pop up in the screen with the phone. Like
that
that's a genuinely funny image.
oh my god! I can't believe the new Naked Gun stole that
Yeah.
gag. I can't. I can't believe it.
Hey man, Shaun of the Dead is a very influential comedy, so if anything.
It is. Yeah, like I love how raw the line of like the response to Sean saying, "Look, I've got things I want to do with my life as well." When
Yeah, when?
like
Oh.
that.
Oh. I want to punch that kid in the face. Shut up. I'll get to it when I get to it.
Well, he becomes a zombie in the end.
Yeah.
He's an undead slave in the retail
Yeah,
industry.
I never noticed that before. I didn't realize. Oh,
He's
that's that actor. Yeah, it's the
the
same
kid
character.
who's pushing the trolleys
Yeah,
at the very end.
that's what I love about Edgar Wright movies. There's so many details to these movies that you don't pick up on the first time. You need to watch these
Mhm.
movies several times in order to pick up. I mean, they reuse a lot of lines, or like they'll say specific lines. One that comes to mind that's really important is that when they're fucking about after getting drunk at the bar, and their roommate comes down and throws the record out, and they're just having a little tit at each other. They're arguing, and then their roommate walks away, and Ed goes, "Next time I see him, he's fucking dead." It's like,
And he is, yeah.
he's dead the next time. Like, again,
Oh,
things you wouldn't pick up on the first time around.
yeah.
Literally, the famous thing is that when they're at the bar after Liz dumps Sean, like the night before the zombie apocalypse starts, Ed is talking about, hey, here's what we'll do tomorrow. And he lines out like all the things they're going to do. And it's literally what they do that next day. I don't remember the exact lines, but it's like, oh, we're going to have a Bloody Mary. The zombie they beat to death and get all bloodied is named Mary.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they say like, "Oh, we're gonna come back to the Winchester for shots." They go to the Winchester, and that's when they're shooting all the zombies.
Yeah, and even like separate from that scene, one line that I only just clocked on this rewatch was Pete saying to Ed, "You want to live like an animal? Go live in the shed."
Yeah, exactly. Go live in the fucking shed, and then at the very end, when Ed's a zombie, he's living in the shed playing video games.
Yeah, I feel like the ending might be like a make or break for a lot of people
Mm,
because I understand like people might find it anticlimactic if for like oh like our heroes have gone through so much and then the government just shows up and saves them and is completely separate from their actions, but like I don't know, I think it at least doesn't bother me because
no,
like most of the movie's conflict is small scale. It makes sense that the government would show up eventually, and like it it's kind of in keeping with the future two movies that the government just kind of show up to reinforce the status quo. That's when like most of their effort comes into things.
Yeah, and I see it as a moment of levity because, you know, we've gone through so much hell in the last few minutes where it's like, oh, I shot my mom. I had to let my best friend go. Everybody's dead. Oh, okay, everything's fine because they just shoot the shit out of the zombies. You know, it's kind of like at the very ending of Alien where Ripley gets away. You know, there's no tease that, oh, the alien is coming back. No, the alien is gone. Let Ripley rest for now. Like, yeah, I like that. You need a moment of levity. I know the joke with many horror films is, oh, you end it with a jump scare that, oh, the killer is still out there or something like that. It's like, no, you can have a happy ending where it's a moment of
Yeah.
levity. The zombies are gone. They're not gone. They're now integrated into society.
Yeah, I think there is something to be said that like maybe for Liz this isn't an especially happy ending because like it'll depend on the person. Like some people can
Mm,
be happy just kind of living out the same routine every day, not very ambitious. I can definitely relate to that. I am not an ambitious person.
same.
But like Liz like makes a point of like wanting to go out and do all these things, and then by the end of the film, she's just kind of living out the same routine with Sean every
Right.
day. But
Yeah.
like her life is still ahead of her. She still has chances to go out and do things, and I guess that's like the future of these characters' lives that we don't necessarily need to see.
Yeah. Yeah. We've seen all we need to see. We don't need to see any more.
Mhm.
And I guess you could also make the argument, oh, it's kind of a cop out that they keep Ed because I mean, he's still dead because he is a zombie. But that Sean is just keeping him cooped up in a shed for the rest of his life, or because he's undead, his undead life. Um, but again, I think I still like that ending. I think that you could make the argument that that's a little bit of a what am I like a
Like
bittersweet aspect.
bittersweet, yeah.
It's bittersweet because he's dead, but he's still keeping him around. And the point is, he's supposed to kind of let go this past life he had. But Ed kind of represents that past life that he's still going back. He's still going out to the shed to play video games, even though he's trying to be a more mature adult. But it's like, again, like I said, I feel like in the modern era, you can still be an adult and play video games. There's nothing wrong with that. You just also need to be a very responsible adult in your everyday. You can also go out and play video games as well. There's nothing wrong with that. It just can't be your entire existence.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I think I mean, and also it's just kind of funny
Oh
to have
yeah,
him in
and
the
that too.
shed, and like the fact that he retains more of his like more of his brain power than any of the other zombies. Because like yeah, he's a zombie now, and he like has that urge to like bite Sean, but as soon as he's called out on it, he just kind of goes back
Yeah,
to playing
that's
video
funny. Yeah,
games.
like yeah, that is genuinely funny. That like yeah, you think he's like actually turned, so he's trying to bite Sean, but then Sean's like, "Dude, stop!" And he does stop. He's like, and he just plays a video game. Yeah, that's funny. So that's the great thing about this movie. You can have these interpretations on where you see the characters and how you interpret the themes, but at the end of the day, it is also a comedy. So a lot of this is probably there for the sake of being funny. So it works both ways. You could see it enforcing the themes and also just being a genuinely funny joke. Like, God, this is fantastic. It's so good.
Yeah, it's such an impressive. I forget if it's like technically a directorial debut, but like especially for early in someone's career, like even compared to like I haven't seen Last Night in Soho. I know that was a bit divisive, but like even compared to Running Man, which came out last year, like I liked that movie enough, but like compared to Shaun of the Dead, it's not even a contest.
Yeah. No, yeah, no. It's the Edgar Wright for a while just made banger after banger. And then all of a sudden it's like, "Oh, what are we doing?" I mean, I haven't seen Running Man, so I can't comment on that, but from what I remember of Last Night in Soho, it's like, jeez.
Yeah, no, that's another one where like I hear it's a horror film that plays less into the comedy, so it's not something that's really been on my radar to check out. But like yeah, Running Man definitely did not have the sauce in the same way Shaun of the Dead did.
Yeah, and that's a shame. But I feel like that makes us appreciate these movies more, especially Shaun of the Dead. Yeah, the
Mhm.
fact that
Absolutely.
again, we can't praise this enough as being like this was one of his first, and the fact that it's this sharp, editing, storytelling, pacing, horror aspects wise, comedy aspects wise, just everything about it is just so good. I'm genuinely trying to think of things I didn't like about it, thinking about it, because I'm like, yeah, I gave it a 9 out of 10 because that's what I gave it the last few times. But like, what do I not like about it? I'm genuinely trying to
I think,
think.
like, for me, I think, like, the extent of what I don't like is that there's a couple jokes delivered with, like, really hushed tones so the characters kind of murmur it, and I kind of need subtitles to hear what they're saying, but, like, that's about it.
Yeah, I
There's
guess
I remember
maybe I've
sorry, go
guessed
ahead.
maybe I guess David's a bit too much of a twat, but even
I
then, I still think that's funny.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up actually because I remember that being a point you mentioned in that old video, and like I agree, David's a complete twat. However, that's like they kind of need someone like that to create drama within the group, and
Absolutely,
also
yeah.
he gets the most violent death. He gets called out on it. Like I think, and like he's also just such a bitch that it's really funny.
Oh,
I always
absolutely, yeah.
love the bit where like Sean's telling him, you can help me fight anytime, and he just goes, I didn't want to cramp your
I didn't want
style.
to cramp your style. That is genuinely funny.
He's one of the most punchable characters ever, and I think the actor did
Absolutely.
a phenomenal job. I do not recall his name off the top of my head, but
Yeah.
he did a fantastic job.
Dylan Moran. His name's
Yeah.
Moron.
Oh
No,
man.
it's Moran, but I was
Yeah.
just being mean.
Um,
Um,
Last point that I had from my notes. I only took a couple notes, but
nope,
yeah, the
please.
"Don't Stop Me Now" scene,
Oh,
peak. It's
I
so
mean,
good.
that's one of those scenes where I'm like, he obviously made this before Baby Driver. Because I was thinking
Mhm.
about that, how why he put this in the movie. He put it in there because he could at the time. But it's just so funny looking back now because it's like, oh, this was absolutely a precursor to something like Baby Driver, where every
Yeah.
movement in that movie is to the music. Oh man, Baby Driver, what a great movie.
I I gotta rewatch that as well because it's I didn't like my Edgar Wright binge back in 2020, and I have not seen Baby Driver since. So maybe I got to get back on that.
I haven't seen it since the episode I made on it. I really want to rewatch it now. Now that I've rewatched the
Hmm.
Cornetto trilogy, I fucking love Baby Driver.
Yeah,
Um,
I like it a lot.
but yeah, no, the Don't Stop Me Now scene, fantastic. I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean that's one of my favorite songs, and having it in a scene that's that's so deliberate with all its what's the word, but like the timing of every
yeah,
movement
yeah,
and
yeah.
the way everything's edited. Like it's just such a well edited movie. Like I like as soon as I watched it for the first time and they had like those dramatic zoom ins on Sean like brushing his teeth and making his toast, that's when I knew, oh, this guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah. There's again such sharpness to the editing, to the cinematography. Like literally, when he's walking into the shop to get like a Coca Cola, and then it's the exact same when it's the zombie apocalypse, and not much has changed, but you definitely see the
Yeah.
differences. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, like, and the fact that he just doesn't notice anything. It's another scene that, like, it builds the drama of the zombie apocalypse while also being really funny.
Yeah,
And in general, I think the zombies are built up really well. Like, you see people start to cough and, like, fall over on the street, and it's kind of like, oh, that's weird, but you're not, like, Sean himself isn't linking those things. And even when he's, like, encountering people on the street, they're in conditions where he can't see them super well. And it's only when Mary shows up in his back garden that he, like, understands, oh shit, there's something going on. And I really, really love that they never outright explain why the zombie apocalypse happened. Like they
yeah.
have like theories about it, like in background text, but they don't outright explain it, and I think that's for the better.
Mm-hmm. Because it's not what the movie's about. The point is that, oh, there is a zombie apocalypse happening. We don't need to know why it's happening. We just need to know that it's
Mhm.
happening and how it affects the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like especially the opening titles when you see Sean going about his day, and it's like, oh, is this has the apocalypse even started yet? You can't even tell because
Mhm.
everybody's already so miserable and kind of zombified already.
Yeah, this really says a lot about our society.
Yeah, everyone's just so pale and looking straight up dead on the bus. It's like Jesus.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic film. It's one of my all time favorites, and
So good.
I even got to see it in the cinema for its 20th anniversary re release. And as much as I love so much of what I saw throughout that year in the cinema, it's not even a contest. Like, even compared to like Holdovers or Monkey Man or Wild Robot or whatever else I got to see in 2024, Shaun of the Dead clears all of them easily.
Did you see Hundreds of Beavers in 2024?
We didn't get a theatrical re-release. I've only seen it
Oh,
on
you
Tubi.
fucking UK fuckers.
I mean, I did see it in 2024. I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
watched
yeah.
it on
Okay,
Tubi.
yeah. You know what? That's entirely fair. You didn't see it in theaters, so that means Shaun of the Dead would clear the rest. So that's entirely
Yeah,
fair. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
What
Both
a
are peak though.
oh yeah, undoubtedly. But Shaun of the Dead, dude, what a fantastic horror comedy. I love it. It's whenever I think of the phrase horror comedy, I think either this or Young Frankenstein, and I think this is better. Honestly, I think this is better. I mean, I love Young Frankenstein. Don't get me wrong, but I definitely think this is better.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite horror movie I've seen, but also like in terms of stuff, even if you count one that counts stuff that's only technically horror, the pool's not exactly wide, so it's not saying a whole lot.
Hmm.
But yeah, I feel like even if I watch some more, it's unlikely to change just because Shaun of the Dead is part of the genre while not also playing into the parts that put me off the genre.
Yeah, that's fair. Anything else to talk about Shaun of the Dead?
I don't think so. I only took like four notes,
That's
and we talked
entirely
about
fine.
them all.
I think honestly, movie good. That's all you need to say.
Movie really, really good.
Yeah. All right, let's transport ourselves to 2007 to talk about the next of the Cornetto trilogy, Hot Fuzz. Hot Fuzz, dude. What? Also
Hot
Edgar Wright,
Fuzz.
also Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. Uh, except this is an action comedy, not a horror comedy. We're done with the horror movie. Well, I mean, there's still some horror-esque scenes in this movie, but it is undoubtedly more of an action film, this one. Um, and boy howdy, is it fucking phenomenal. Honestly, I was thinking, like, why do I like this one more than Shaun of the Dead? Because Shaun of the Dead is so good. Like, rewatching it, I really appreciated it a lot more this time. But Hot Fuzz was always kind of the one I feel like it was just the one I liked the most because that was just what other people liked. You know, a lot of I feel like
Mhm.
this one is definitely more beloved. So I was thinking, does that hold up? And oh brother, it does. It really, really does. I love
Yeah.
Hot Fuzz. It is so funny and also so exciting.
Yeah, I think I was in a similar boat throughout the years because Shaun of the Dead is the one that I've gone back to the most over the years, just because I've had more reason to. There have been videos that I've needed to rewatch it for that either got cancelled in production or are now deleted. But I've had reasons to go back to that in ways that I never have for Hot Fuzz. But like the one time I rewatched Hot Fuzz before now was just like for the fun of watching it. I didn't have a video I needed to watch it for. And throughout the years, because it's been years since I've watched either, and I keep thinking to myself, do I prefer Hot Fuzz? Like I thought it was my favorite when I first saw it, but like the more I think back on it, Shaun of the Dead is more emotional and it's like comparably funny and tightly written. But I don't know, going back to it, I think even though Shaun of the Dead is more emotional, I think Hot Fuzz just kind of has it beat in almost every other category. I think it's more tightly written.
Hmm.
I think like it's funnier, and even though like Sean and his personal struggles are maybe a little more compelling, I think like Nicholas Angel's still a fantastic protagonist, very identifiable struggles, and also like just the ongoing mystery it builds up is a lot more interesting than the zombie apocalypse because it leads to like such just an insane climax with so many payoffs and twists and turns. It's just so good. I love Hot Fuzz so
Yeah. Oh
much.
my god, it's so good. Yeah. Oh, Nicholas Angel, very different character from Sean. I feel like that's the strength of Simon Pegg as an actor, and also maybe a writer because I mean, again, he did write these movies.
Mhm.
Um, but especially from the performance side, a very different character from Sean, and I like that. I like because I mean, I would say Danny in this movie, Nick Frost's character, is sort of kind of similar to Ed in the way that he's also like the comedic side character. But that doesn't take away. Like, I still think Danny's a
Mhm.
really fun character. I think Nick Frost obviously has a type and he plays strong to that type. But I just really like that Simon Pegg can play a vastly different character than Sean and it still come across
Mhm.
as, again, compelling.
I agree with that. Like Simon Pegg's got phenomenal range, but I really don't want to discount Nick Frost because I think both actors do play drastically different characters across all three films. Like
Hmm.
yeah, Nick plays both Ed in Shaun of the Dead and Danny in Hot Fuzz, who are both kind of like the goofy comedic relief characters, but in terms of like the presentation of these characters, they couldn't be more different. Like Ed's really vulgar and abrasive and
That's
doesn't really
true.
give a
Yeah.
shit. Whereas like Danny's a lot more innocent and kind and like I think it's just adorable how he keeps taking after Angel's mannerisms.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about that. Yeah, how there's that scene where they go to the Romeo and Juliet
Yeah.
production, and Nicholas points out, he goes, "I just sat through 3 hours of acting, and the most convincing part was that kiss." And then when they go to
Hmm.
the Andes later on, they're like, "What? Why do you think Why do you think this is suspicious?" And he, Danny slams his fist and goes, "Because we just sat through 3 hours of so-called acting, and the most convincing part was that kiss." It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
you're just
it's
taking what Nicholas
great.
said. Oh, it's so funny.
I love the influence the two have over each other because like there's
Yeah.
a bit near like the third act where like Angel's watching the security tapes and Skinner's saying to them, you know, if it makes you feel any better, like my cousin's land will be put towards a memorial, and he just and then like Angel just repeats the sticking his tongue out and saying "jog on," which Danny had done earlier, and I think that's really funny, like
what
showing that he's rubbing off on him.
what you do with your land is up to you. So jog on. I love
Oh my
that.
god, it's such a quotable and funny movie.
Oh,
Like even more so than Shaun of the
the
Dead.
quotes in this movie. I didn't want to necessarily just make my review this time just a quote, but I couldn't help myself. I had to make it jog on. It was so
I,
funny.
I love I think it's Olivia Colman's character who just like drops an innuendo at every single
Yeah.
crime scene, and it's always funny. Nothing like a bit of girl on
Yeah,
girl.
everybody points to the nothing like a bit of girl on girl. My personal favorite is the oh, I don't know. I think I fancy a midnight gobble.
I
That one's
I
great.
love again a way of showing that like everyone's having an influence over Angel at the end for like they're like, oh, we've got so much paperwork. Well, at least we've got the manpower for it. And then like Danny has the whole bit about telling them, oh, you know, we can't say the word manpower because vocab guidelines. And then Angel just says, well, you like a bit, or you can do with a bit of manpower, couldn't you, or something like that.
Yeah. You cheeky fucker. Yeah.
And then someone throws a bin at
The bit.
it's so
That's so, yeah, you're right. This is genuinely funnier than Shaun of the Dead. Even like
good.
it's hard to compare the two, but like ever so slightly, Hot Fuzz is so much funnier. It's oh
Yeah,
my god.
it's just fantastic, and
Yeah.
like again, it hits that like balance of emotional weight and comedy that it's pretty much like the easiest way for a film to become one of my all-time favorites. It hit me in the feels and like have me dying laughing in equal measure.
Mm.
And Hot Fuzz definitely isn't as emotional as Shaun of the Dead. It doesn't have those like tear jerking moments,
Right.
at least not to the same extent. But it does genuinely have some fantastic emotional beats. I really was compelled, like seeing Angel like question everything, like having his like commitment to finding the truth get tested, and when he isn't able to like get Skinner when he tries to like confront him, like having that whole like crisis of not knowing what to do anymore, and just like
Mm.
accepting, yep, she tripped and fell on her own hedges.
Yeah. She tripped and fell on her own edges, yeah. No luck catching them killers, eh? It's just the one killer, actually. Yeah.
I love how that comes back from earlier when they're like, oh,
Yeah.
no luck catching those swans, eh? Oh, it's just the one swan
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. Again, it's carryover from Shaun of the Dead. Every
Yeah.
bit of dialogue from the beginning plays a part later in the movie.
Yeah, and I think it's even more impressive here because not only is it a longer movie with more setups, but the fact that like with Shaun of the Dead, when they come back, they're incredibly satisfying. But when they come back in Hot Fuzz, some of them end up being like clues to the mystery,
Mm.
and I think that is just what helps it be like it's such a good, well built up mystery.
Yeah.
And I love how they have like Skinner as the obvious red herring. So it seems like the options are going to be either okay, he's the killer, or he's the fake out, and the killer is someone else. And instead, they do have the twist, and it's yeah, no, Skinner is a killer, but he's like a small part of a much
Yeah.
much larger operation.
He's both the killer and the red herring. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
think like the stuff with the conspiracy, like a bit that really stuck out to me this time is so once like Angels found like the whole cult meeting thing,
the greater good.
and yeah, the greater good, and like he's solving on like the history that's buried underneath the town that they've tried to sweep under the rug. He comes across the living statue guy who like came up at the start of the movie, and like obviously that's like a oh my god they got him like frightening in the moment kind of thing. And then the more I think about it, the more I realize, all right, that character came up at the start of the movie, and then with everything else that's going on, he just kind of never gets mentioned again, and there's so much going on that you forget about him. And it's like really subtly scary how they're able to just make him disappear under your nose without it even registering.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's true. I mean, it is a very it is borderline ridiculous, but it is scary. Yeah, the idea of this town just killing off people that don't conform to the ideals of the town. Um, it's an interesting from that perspective, like an action perspective. And again, the ultimate twist being, oh, we just killed them because we didn't like these people. Like, Nicholas forms this conspiracy that you think, oh, there's like an actual conspiracy. Oh, we killed him because he was gonna, tear down the land and do all this. It's like, no, we just hated his house. We killed him. It's like,
Yeah. Oh my god, the line about like, oh, this house isn't in keeping with the villager's rustic aesthetic, and then that comes back later when why they killed him.
his mansion wasn't keeping in with the village's rustic
Yeah.
aesthetic. Yeah.
I love how like Nick goes off on this like tirade about like, yeah, Skinner, you killed this guy because he was going to buy this land and set up a retail park and give like competition to your business. And then it comes back later like, oh no, he's just a shit actor.
Yeah. Well, he murdered Bill Shakespeare.
Such a good movie. Oh my god, the bit with Danny gouging his eye out with a fork and then faking that out with like the ketchup. And then that comes back later with him like stabbing Angel in like the area he put the notepad specifically so that he could like have padding there to protect him, and doing the ketchup trick so that he could like get him out of town without needing to kill him.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, it's such a good. I genuinely thought like they were going to go the twist villain route with Danny, but he is just a good guy.
Yeah, yeah. Your father's judge, jury, and executioner. He is not judge, judy, and executioner.
Oh, I think like it's so great that the movie can do like all like the cornball one liners like in the third act when Angel's going on his like or not killing spree because he actually doesn't kill anyone as far as I can remember, but when he's going on his like action hero like taking everyone down montage, he's like doing borderline the Nolan Batman voice. but like I don't know, I just think it works. Like it sounds cool enough, but it's also just like silly and funny.
You're so right. Yeah, he starts doing it when he's at the convenience store and they're like, anything else? Can I help you with anything else? So he's like, no, this is something I got to do on my own.
Oh my god.
You're so right. It is very borderline Nolan Batman. Fascist! Hag.
Oh my god. Like, all the running jokes and like even some that continue from Shaun of the Dead, like the fence hopping bit, which is a thing in all three. And I love that like they build on it because this time like Angel does like clear the fences really easily, and then Danny fumbles worse than Shaun ever could have.
He just crashes through. Again, really funny. Oh my god, so fucking funny. Um, Oh, the one of the, I another funny thing I just have to mention is when Skinner's saying like feel free to spoon around and he like smiles and like the picture behind him is him doing the
Yeah.
exact same smile.
Oh,
I don't know
I'm
why
sure
I don't know why that's so funny, but it is one of the funniest things in the movie. Just him smiling the same as it in the picture. It's
that
just
became like a meme for a bit on Twitter, didn't it? Or like
it,
at least a well enough known screenshot to
it's a
use as a
very well known
reaction.
it's a very well known screenshot, but I'm just like, why is that funny? But like every time I look at it, I start bursting out laughing. It is genuinely funny seeing Timothy Dalton just smile the same way he's smiling in the photo.
It does like keep in line with like the village is putting up such an effort to appear so picture perfect that it appears
Oh,
unnatural,
there you
and like
go.
that's why like because like it's like really subtly creepy in a way and like hard to put your finger on immediately,
Yeah.
but then like when everything comes around, like yeah, we're like unnaturally contorting this village to be picture perfect, and that like kind of recontextualizes the moment.
Hey, they have that sign early in the movie where it says it has that pointing sign. It says Model Village, and then the climax, they go to a literal model village.
Yeah. Oh my god. Like even though like the makeup and prosthetics maybe isn't as insane as the crazier parts of Shaun of the Dead, like some of the stuff like Skinner getting impaled through the chin just looks. Oh
Oh,
my god.
oh,
That like
yeah.
really made me squeamish the first time I saw it.
Dude, yeah, no, it's it like just goes through his upper chin, and you're just like, ah. He goes, this really hurts. I need some ice cream. Don't worry, we got plenty down at the station.
Oh my god.
Uh,
It's so good.
but
It's
you had
so good.
mentioned how in the climax nobody dies. I mean, arguably, what's his face, the guy who's like always on the cameras when like the mine kind of explodes. I mean, really, I think it's safe to say
Oh,
he.
yeah. I mean, like, specifically before the mine, because like,
Yes.
what stuck out to me was when they were doing like the montage of all the mug shots, and like you see everyone, the guy
Yeah.
with a bear trap on
No,
his
that
head, and everyone's all bloody and
yeah,
bruised.
yeah, yeah. Nobody dies in the climax in that way. Yes. That's great. Like I look because it's keeping in true to Nicholas's ideology the whole movie where he's like, I'm just a simple police officer. I'm here to serve and protect. Like I'm not here to
Hmm.
kill people. I'm here to serve and protect. And that's what he does. Like even though
Hmm.
he's buying into action tropes in the climax, he's still keeping his belief system intact in that way.
Yeah, the movie does not tell us the solution is that police should just go and shoot people and kill them.
No.
Which I'm really glad. I'm glad they draw that line.
Yeah. Because again,
Like try to
it.
get people's head caught in a bear trap, but don't kill them.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, that's again, it's still a comedy at the end of the day, but I think it's still it has solid enough ground with its theming and stuff like that. That's what makes that's
Mhm.
what makes these movies so special is the fact that they can be flat out comedies, but also very smart, like having you think about them even after watching
Yeah,
them.
yeah. Like you've got this perfect village where everything is fine, but at what cost? What has to
Right.
be done to keep it this way? And then it's at the end, it's like, oh, it's not that the bad stuff doesn't happen. It's just that the bad stuff is like swept under the rug and reframed to make it look not as bad. Like you're not living a perfect life; you're living a
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah, exactly. And this is in a movie where they use a scene from Bad Boys 2 as a transition to the next scene. Damn, shit just got real. Like, I love that. Yeah, the two action films Danny obsesses over is like Point Break or Bad Boys 2. He's like, which one do you think I'd like? No, I'm asking, which one do you want to watch first? Point Break
I
or
love that
Bad Boys 2?
he showed him Bad Boys 2 before the first one.
I mean, look, you should be watching Bad Boys 2 with the first one because the first one is not very good. Bad Boys 2
Fair.
though, Bad Boys 2 is genuinely really fun. Like
Yeah, I gotta get around to them someday. I've had a
yeah.
lot of catching up on movies
Yeah,
to
I've
do.
seen both Point Break and Bad Boys 2 and I can say that yeah, they are very good movies. When I think of my ideal action movies though, I always go like Die Hard or The Dark Knight or
Oh,
Heat.
I love Die Hard.
Ooh, dude, Die Hard. So good. Um But yeah, I mean, Hot Fuzz is also up there. I mean, even though,
I'll be honest, I like Hot Fuzz more than either of those,
yeah,
those
I
that you
mean,
just
that's
mentioned.
entirely fair. Not only is it again paying homage to these great movies, Point Break and Bad Boys 2 being the pinnacle of action, but like, um, it's still done so in a way that feels like there's love and respect for these movies. Yes, there's a lot of action tropes, but it doesn't feel like they're poking fun at these action tropes, but not in a way where it feels like we can do these action tropes better. Like, oh, you've never flown through the air with two guns at the same time? They do that in earnest later in the movie, but again, it's not done
Yeah.
so in a way where it's like it feels like they'd be making fun of those tropes. They're paying homage to them in ways that feels like they actually love these tropes.
Oh my god, we haven't even mentioned the action. The action is so good.
It's genuinely really good. That plays into the editing too, like the how at the beginning the editing is so intense and literally all he's doing is just riding the train to go to this village. But yeah, then in the climax where it's like this big all-out brawl between him and a bunch of these old English people just having a shootout. Yeah, the action is so exciting. There's a lot of quick cuts and zoom ins, stuff you'd think people would hate in because a lot of modern action does that, where it's like quick zooms and edit. The go-to punching bag with that is Taken 3, where like there's 9 different angles of Liam Neeson going over a fence.
Yeah.
But like this movie does that properly, where it's like you actually understand what's happening in any given scene, because that's the main problem with editing and cutting like that, is like you have no idea what the fuck is happening. Here you know exactly what's happening because, well, Edgar Wright is a really good director.
Yeah, I normally like hate quick cut bullshit in my fight scenes. Like the prime example I go to for that is like the 2021 Mortal Kombat, or
Ooh.
even like I've been going through all the James Bond films, and when those films get bad with their editing, they get really bad.
Die
But like
Another
Hot
Day.
Fuzz, die. Oh god, don't get me started on fucking Die Another Day. But even though like Hot Fuzz does like the same stuff with like the like several cuts every couple seconds, and
Mhm.
it's like goes by really quickly. Like they're shot so well, and everything's so easy and clear to keep track of that it doesn't really bother me as much.
Yeah. And again,
Um,
they'll also have that kind of editing when he's doing stuff like filling out paperwork, because that enhances the joke. Like, oh, he's doing this there's this intense editing and all he's doing is just filling out paperwork.
yeah, like I'll admit that like I do like one of the few advantages I'll give World's End over Hot Fuzz is that that movie's got like a lot of long takes in its action scenes, and I'll always take those and be more impressed rather than the quick cut stuff. But the fact that it's not like a detriment to Hot Fuzz at all, like if anything, it does help to get across like some of the claustrophobic feeling of like him fighting the Yarp guy, I forgot his name, or like
Lurch.
just yeah, Lurch, or just like the sheer chaos of the shootout on the street or in the supermarket. I think it does really well to get that across while never being difficult to keep track of what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, so good.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I also want to give a shout out to the actors. The acting is really good. I love Timothy Dalton as Skinner in this movie. He's very funny, and that he's very threatening, and he's clearly having a blast playing this like shit-eating grinning dude. But like it works. Like he really works in this role. I love him a lot.
Mhm.
And also, I want to give a shout out. The woman who runs the hotel, Billy Whitelaw, is the actress. She's Agra in The Dark Crystal. I mean, people probably already know this because I made that my review for Hot Fuzz
I
one
did
year.
see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I just love shouting out whenever actors are in The Dark Crystal and they're in other movies. So,
Let me double check the cast list, see if there's anyone I flag besides Timothy Dalton, who
yeah.
really like breathed fresh air
Yeah.
into the Bond films that I watched. Like he was really good as Bond.
Oh, I want to give a shout out to Jim Broadbent, Frank Butterman in the movie. I've never seen him
Mhm.
this threatening in a movie. Like, he's the
Yeah.
go-to quirky British actor in movies where, oh, I'm in Paddington and Narnia and I don't know what else. Fucking, there's something else he was in. Robots. Oh, he's in Robot. That's right.
Oh
Yeah,
my
he's the
god.
villain in Robots.
Yeah, he is like he does get really threatening in the final act, like specifically when he's like like telling Angel about like his wife's death and like just approaching him. Like he was such like a jovial, goofy character earlier, but
Yeah.
like he completely like mask off like no nonsense villain. He's absolutely fantastic in the
Yeah.
role. I don't think there's a weak link in the entire cast as far as
No.
I can remember. Everyone does such a good
Yeah,
job.
you're right. Yeah, he's very jovial throughout the beginning of the movie. I love when he's showing Nicholas around the station. And he's like, "Oh well, look at that! It's 11:30. I'd say that's lunch." It's like that's such a small town aspect. Just like, it's 11:30, lunchtime. Like
Yeah.
lunch so early, and then you just, I love that. It's so funny.
Yeah. I don't know what like the consensus is on like a lot of the side cop characters, but I thought they were really really funny.
Yeah, I
I
love
love the Andy.
the Andes are great. The shot of them like moving to the side and one of them comes back into frame and goes back out. Like again, why is that funny? I don't know. It just is. It just leaves me in a fit of tears every time. Um,
I love like the scene for like so the swear box gets set up earlier,
yeah,
and there's like a scene where like Angel puts a coin in preemptively and then just goes on like a rant where like he swears in it.
yeah.
He swears again. He swears again later when he's like going to, yeah, this guy was murdered. This guy was murdered. Oh, this guy was surprisingly not actually murdered. Oh, really? No, of course he fucking was.
Yeah.
And then like Danny puts one in for him, and then one of the Andys swears, and the other puts a coin in for them.
He goes, "Thank
like,
you, Andy."
it's so good.
Yeah. Oh, the clueless sergeant, and the first
Oh,
time you see him, and
yeah.
like the little chart behind him says like lazy dumb or
Yeah.
something like that.
It's such a well directed movie. I think even more so than Shaun of the Dead's.
Honestly, yeah,
Uh,
and that's
yeah.
crazy because Shaun of the Dead was already directed really
Yeah.
well.
It's the difference between it's the difference going between like one of my top 15 favorite movies into one of my top 10. Like these two are both all timers for me.
Yeah. Oh, it's so impressive. We always talked about Olivia Colman, PC Bob Walker, the guy that Nicholas can't understand because he's like,
Yeah. Oh, the whole bit of like him being like one of three middlemen for translation.
yeah, because they go to David Bradley, who's playing like this just farmer that just talks like, and then he has to translate, and Danny has to translate him. Like it's so funny.
Is amazing. It's like that's one of the funniest scenes in the movie, I think, and
Yeah.
that's saying a lot.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. That is saying a ton. Like all these scenes, and just so funny.
Yeah, I think like that scene's just a good way of showing how different of a character Nick Frost is playing compared to Ed, because like when he translates the "yeah, I suppose" is going, well, yes, I suppose. Like
Yes, I suppose.
if Ed heard you say that, he would call you a slur.
So true. God, what else with Hot Fuzz? I feel like we're just going in circles quoting it and saying it's really good.
Yeah,
I mean, but like, can you blame me? It's really good and really quotable.
yeah, it's the easiest to explain why it's good.
Oh
Of the
yeah.
Cornetto trilogy, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. So much fun.
Yeah, I think that might be all there is to it, honestly. Very funny, solid emotional core, great mystery. The most insane, well, maybe not the most insane, but like the most fun third acts of the three.
I think that's fair to say. Yeah. And I love Danny's little closet where he has like all the movies. Oh, just the wall of shelves of DVDs.
Yeah.
I love that.
I mean, you wish you could be there.
I mean, I'm almost there. I mean, I probably have the same amount of movies. I just don't have the shelf space for them. So,
You got to get those sliding doors.
I got to get those sliding doors. I got to get my DVD copies of Point Break and Bad Boys 2. Then I will be literally him.
Literally him for real.
Yeah. Well then, I guess we've ended this discussion on Hot Fuzz. How about we talk about The World's End? Hey.
Oh my god, I see what you did there.
Yeah,
Oh,
did
wow.
you? Yeah. All right.
No.
Third Cornetto trilogy movie, The World's End. So it's interesting. I want to talk about this Blu-ray a little bit because the way it's designed is it has the World's End on top and then Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead under it, and then you open it up. The first disc is the World's End. Like that's how it came to me. It's put like even though Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz came first, the World's End is kind of like on the top. It's weird. You'd think like it would be in chronological order where Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz in the middle, and World's End would be at the bottom there. This is all nitpicky. It doesn't matter. It's just something I noticed.
Yeah. I mean, is that maybe like a packaging mistake?
Maybe
with specifically your copy.
No, I feel like because I used to have it on DVD where it was the exact same thing, where it was World's End, Hot Fuzz, and Shaun of the Dead. It's like, oh, okay, weird. Whatever, doesn't matter. World's End rules.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting because you'd think by number 3, and I feel like this is the one that's least talked about, and not even because it's bad. I've never really seen anybody call it straight up bad. I think most people say, yeah, it's good. And I agree. Like, I think it's really, really good. It's definitely my least favorite of the 3, but again, even still, it's really, really good. I just have more of a connection with Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. You know?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think like I mentioned, both of the other 2 are like top 15 favorites of all time for me. I think World's End is like maybe floating somewhere around like top 100 territory.
Yeah, I just think by this point, a lot of what we've fallen in love with the first 2, it's like, yeah, we get more of that. Not that it's like weak or anything. It's like, yeah, we've seen this before, and it is really good. It works really well here. But again, we've just seen this before. So like the magic that was in Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, it's like, yeah, okay, it's good now. And I think also one thing I was thinking about, I think this one's also very heavily CGI. And then again, not that there's anything wrong with that. I think for what the movie is, that works really well. It's just, you know, what we fell in love with the first 2 was a little bit more on the practical side. They probably did use VFX and CGI in those movies. I don't doubt that. I'm just saying this one, it's a lot heavier, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think in fairness, what it's going for is like a lot grander in scale.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Practically, you really can't replicate like the glowing eyes coming out of people's faces, or the giant statue thing, or the big explosion at the end. Like those are things that you really need CGI in order to pull off to the extent that Wright wanted to do.
No, I think Edgar Wright literally blew up a town in Britain.
God, if only.
Well, anyway, I'm really excited to talk about World's End because I feel like, you know, we've seen Simon Pegg and Nick Frost play, you know, these characters these couple of times. I feel like now we get to see Simon Pegg play a very different character where it's like, you know, Sean's a bit of a normal kind of guy where he's like not entirely immature, but not quite mature. Then you got Nicholas Angel, who's like this hard ass, like tough cop character, very competent at what he does. And then you get Gary King, who's very much the opposite of what Nicholas Angel was. It feels like Simon Pegg's playing a character that Nick Frost, like a character closer to what Nick Frost has been playing these past 2 movies. Whereas Nick Frost is now playing a very dignified, very mature character in this.
Yeah, like the roles are very much reversed because I think you can sort of equate Gary King to Ed, and you can sort of equate Andy Knight to Nicholas Angel.
Yeah, very much so. But even still, they're very different characters, and they play them perfectly. Like Simon Pegg really knocks it out of the park as Gary King in this one.
I think the whole trilogy is just such a testament to the range of these 2 actors. They really are fantastic at what they do.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Because like I know that it's them as actors, but I would still say like, oh yeah, every time I see this movie, I'm like, that's Gary King. I'm not going, that's Simon Pegg, you know?
Yeah,
like
I think the hair dye might help.
The hair, yeah. But yeah, no. Oh, so World's End, yeah, I think this is definitely very nutty as a concept because it's literally just, oh, we're going on a bar crawl. Oh wait, look, aliens. You know, like now again, like we've been saying, the first one undoubtedly a comedy but also a horror movie. Second one undoubtedly a comedy but also an action movie. This one undoubtedly a comedy, but also a sci-fi movie. It's very sci-fi. But I think there are mixes of not only action, but also horror. I feel like it's kind of marrying everything, but also still trying to be like a straight up sci-fi movie.
Yeah, I think like it definitely is much higher in scope and I guess concept than the other two. Like like we don't really get to see the greater effect of the zombie apocalypse in Shaun of the Dead,
Mhm.
and Angel doesn't like extend far beyond just that one town. So like those two stories are both really like small scale and contained, whereas just the scope of like even just with the amount of locations they go to in World's End, it feels bigger, but also the fact that it like ends with a worldwide effect
Yeah,
just makes it feel much bigger. And like even though like Sean does have the zombies as like a supernatural element, and like I guess to an extent the cult in Hot Fuzz is kind of like out of the ordinary. World's End is the one that leans the furthest into being supernatural. Like it's just
absolutely.
very blatantly, I mean, like you said, sci-fi,
Yeah.
much farther than the others, in a way that would have felt really out of place in the world of either of the other two, which were relatively more grounded.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because they approached Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz in a very grounded manner, even though, yeah, the zombie apocalypse happens, but it feels like the characters are taking it in a way that most normal people would. And I mean, that's not to say that they don't do that here. They absolutely have these, British blokes take the alien invasion thing very seriously, and they're just like, what the fuck? But also, they do it in a very British kind of way, you know?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think like it makes sense given that Gary King is like a larger than life character,
Hmm.
in a way that no one from the first two was in the same way. And the scope of the story is a lot larger to accommodate that.
Yeah, definitely.
And at least this having like the highest stakes
Yeah.
of the three.
Oh yeah, definitely because I mean the world is at stake here.
Yeah.
Even though again, the thing starts off with them just wanting to do a bar crawl, which is like the
Yeah.
simplest thing. I mean, it's very difficult. I mean, I've never gone on one, but I can only imagine, because you're going to all
Yeah.
these bars, drinking all this beer. That's kind of a lot. But again, it's
Hmm.
more manageable than saving the world, you know?
Yeah, like 12 pints is insane. The most I've ever done is in a single night is like 8 or 9
Oof.
cider cans,
Yeah.
and that's about it.
Yeah,
Like
the
I
hardest
couldn't
I've ever
fathom.
drank is when I've watched certain movies. Where I watched Romeo plus Juliet, I was drunk. When I watched Ratatouille that one time, I was blitzed out of my mind, and I got I've probably talked about this before, but one time I got drunk and I watched Ratatouille and I cried while watching it.
You didn't cry when watching Ratatouille normally?
No, I mean, yeah, sometimes I'll like start to tear up. Like, I've had times where I'm watching it and like they whip out the ratatouille, the scene where they like whip out the ratatouille recipe, and Yvette goes ratatouille. It's like, oh, here it comes. Like that's when I'll start to well up. But no, I
I
straight up started sobbing watching Ratatouille, and I was drunk. Like,
I
look at him, he's a fucking rat. He's doing his
I
dream.
I know you probably mean for like the ego speech at the end, but part of me wants to believe you're just like drunkenly sobbing at the shot of Linguini about to put Remy in his pants.
No, it was that scene.
Yeah, yeah, I cry at that one every time as well. It's all good.
uh, um. Oh, there's and then the other famous time I got drunk was when we watched The Adventures of the American Rabbit during wheel night. Because have I ever told that actually publicly? I don't. I feel like
I
that's a
don't know.
it's definitely a wheel night story. So like wheel night every Saturday we spin a wheel and we watch whatever it lands on. So me and William we watched this one thing called The Adventures of the American Rabbit, which is just this weird animated movie from the mid 80s where it's just this rabbit and he gets powers and he fights for America or something like that. Or I guess America is in this, but everybody's an animal, whatever. Point is, um, it is kind of lame, but like the first time I watched it, I would guess I was a couple drinks in and I got genuinely angry watching it because I'm like, this is the worst. Shut it off. Like, oh, I hate
I
this. And then we watched it again like a couple years later. I think last year at some point we watched it again. And I just watched it. I'm like, it's perfectly normal. Like, it's not good. It's a dumb mid 80s animated film for babies, but like, it's not the worst thing in the world. But yeah, I was genuinely getting angry watching it the first time.
yeah, I see your first review is just I fucking hate this shit and I don't know why.
Yeah, and then I later found out, oh, it was a very inspirational movie for a certain Chris Chan. So,
Oh Jesus Christ.
anyway, World's End.
World's End.
Yeah,
Good movie.
no, no, but I still think it's a lot of fun. I feel like a bar crawl would still be a lot of fun. It's just
Mhm.
I would be a lot more responsible than Gary fucking King. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one Gary King.
There's only one Gary King.
Yeah, no, I think like the movie does start out very grounded,
Mhm.
relatively. I mean, Gary's still like a much louder, larger character than any of the previous ones, but like I mean, he is very tragic in a way.
Oh yeah.
Like he's like fascinating in a way you can't take your eyes off because he's not likable at the start,
No.
but like you just can't stop watching. I don't mean to become a guy watching his second ever movie with an unlikable protagonist, but it did kind of remind me of Marty Supreme in a way. Now that that was fresh in my mind, like he just fucks up at every turn, and like you can't stand him, but you always want to see what he does
Yeah,
next.
but that's what I love. I love when movies do that, when they're not afraid to have a character that you're not even that you're not supposed to like, but can make decisions that would make them unlikable. It's like you need more of that. Like that, I want characters to be interesting. Whether they're likable or not is kind of secondary. As long as they're interesting and they're fun to watch through. That's what I love about, yeah, characters like Howard Ratner and Uncut Gems even. Like that's a character who's very unlikable, but again, I can't take my eyes off of it, and that's thanks to the writing, thanks to the performance, thanks to a myriad of things. Gary King, yeah, no, Gary King. You start off, he's like, oh, if you knew Gary King in real life, you'd hate his
I'd hate
guts.
him. Yeah.
He's the worst because he's that typical, oh, I peaked in high school and I can't let it go kind of thing.
Hmm.
But as you go along, you do start to like him a lot more because you start to see the very human side in him.
Yeah, he's the most tragic of the characters that Simon Pegg has to play because, like, yeah, Sean's stuck in a
Mm,
rut and Angel's like lost his wife, but like Gary King just like can't get over the best night of his life and has spent
yeah,
every day since then suffering because of that. And
yeah.
it like the scene at the end, like when he's speaking to Andy, like, and they're fighting at the world's end, and he just tells him it never got better than that night. God, that's so sad.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that really affects you. It's like it never
Yeah,
got better.
like
Oh,
that scene has like some of the best acting in the trilogy because like you've also got Nick Frost like, giving his whole like I would have followed you to the end. I
yeah.
fucking have.
Yeah. I fucking have. Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
dude.
it's so good. But then
Yeah.
you've also got like so many funny comedic bits because of how unlikable Gary is, where he's like lying to Andy about his mother's death and like paying him back with money that he borrowed from the other three, giving Peter's name to the police officer.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Oh,
totally scumbag moves, but it is funny. Like,
yeah. I think like that's probably why like even though I really liked it on my first viewing, like I think Gary being less likable is why I wasn't nearly as huge on it the last time, but like this time now that I've like kind of developed my taste in movies a bit more, I can really appreciate Gary as a character a lot more, and I got so much more into the movie as a result this time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because yeah, he is unlikable, but I feel like then his shift to likable by the end makes it all the more sweeter, you know?
Mhm. Like because he never really like he doesn't really improve as a person.
Mhm.
Like
But
he's still selfish
yeah,
and like has his drinking problem by the end, but like you understand him a lot better and
yeah.
like why he is the way that he is. And he's just a really fascinating protagonist. I think definitely the weakest link of the three in terms of the characters Simon Pegg plays, but like still fantastic. I really love Gary King.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, yeah, I mean it works for the theming of the movie around how like, oh yeah, well everybody's got their issues, and we're not all perfect, but that's the point. We're trying to be better.
Yeah, like life isn't perfect, and
Mhm.
that's okay. Like it might never be as good as the best night of your life again, but you keep fighting on. You just keep going through to see the next day. You fight to get through life despite all the hardships you face.
Mhm.
And like any society or civilization presenting itself as perfect probably had less than ethical means of getting there. It kind of follows on from the themes of Hot Fuzz in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. It also has a bit of I've heard this before and I that's what I really like about this movie. It feels like it's kind of commenting on stuff like gentrification and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And not in an obnoxious way like Texas Chainsaw 2022 did. Like it actually has a point to be made. Uh
Yeah,
but
because
also no, go
oh
ahead.
sorry, go ahead. So like the alien civilization is like going in and assimilating into species that it perceives as lesser, like
Yeah.
ones that don't need its help, like
Mhm.
because the only reason they would need its help is to be part of the larger galactic civilization that it never asked to be part of. They didn't get given the choice to be like improved and assimilated into, but it's kind of just forced upon them because humans are perceived as lesser. And I think you can draw parallels to stuff that still happens in the real world with like some countries going in and trying to do the same thing to ones they see as less developed.
Yeah. And again, it doesn't feel like it's preaching in that sort of way. Like, oh, this is what it's saying. It's like you can derive that yourself. You can interpret it yourself, and I feel like that's great. I love when movies are very subtle like that because it
Mhm.
doesn't distract from the story, but you still have these very rich and strong themes for you as an individual to think about on your own.
Yeah, there's plenty of subtext to look into if you want, but if you don't want and you just want a fun movie where you can watch some guys get wasted and then punch blue robots to death, you can do that. Like it's really
Oh,
fun.
dude, so much fun. Yeah. Like you were saying how this one uses a lot more one take action scenes or what is perceived as one take action scenes. I'm sure they
Yeah.
were editing it like stitching multiple takes together, but it definitely flows a lot better. Yeah, no, I like that
Mhm.
this movie does that too.
Yeah, and like even though the action doesn't have like the same spectacle as Hot Fuzz, I think like it's got more like direct hand to hand fighting that's just choreographed better because like Hot Fuzz
Mm,
goes for a lot of like gunfights
yeah.
and such like that, whereas like there's just a lot more like hand to hand scrapping in World's End, and it's just really cool.
Yeah.
I like seeing Nick Frost just like juggernaut his way through four of them at once and do wrestling finishers. It's just so good. It's so fun.
Yeah, I love him just freaking out when they like he just rips his shirt. He goes, "I fucking hate this town." So good.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like the fight in the bathroom as well. Like just the way
Yeah.
it starts so small scale and then builds up with the four of them is it's just it's fantastic. The scene in the bar as well. I love the like during so many of the bar fights having to like juggle that with fighting them. Like there's one just really funny shot of him taking a drink and then just nonchalantly throwing a punch to the side and getting one of the robots.
Yeah. Ugh.
So so arguably, depending on what you're looking for, best action in the trilogy.
Yeah. I'd be okay with saying that. I mean, yeah, I'd still say Hot Fuzz is better in that regard, but for what it is,
Mhm.
yeah, you know what? You're right. If you're looking for that, I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I still prefer Hot Fuzz for the
Hmm.
record, but I think they both excel in different ways. In the same way that, like, if you're looking for something a lot more claustrophobic, intense, then Shaun of the Dead is the best of the three.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think a lot of people, not a lot of people, I don't want to assume that this one is hated because I don't think it is, but why is it not seen on the same level as Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz? Why do you think that?
I think maybe the CGI stuff you mentioned has something to do with it. Maybe the
Mm,
fact that it's not really so much of a happy ending didn't really resonate with people. Like,
right.
I like the ending for what it's going for. That like yeah, life has low points and struggles that you got to push through, but like people persist even when everything's gone completely shit up. It's still people still go on. Um, Maybe some people just don't resonate with Gary as a more unlikable character,
Hmm.
which I think that's fair enough, honestly.
Yeah.
Even if I like him, he's definitely like the least fun to watch of the three, in my opinion. And even though the movie is quite funny, like I still laughed a good few times. I just don't think it's punching in the same comedic weight class as the other two.
Hmm.
Yeah. Maybe like it's the lack of like that same quick snappy editing outside of like the beer pouring scenes and like some of the montages. Like Sean and Hot Fuzz definitely have more of that, and maybe that clicks more with people than like the long takes and such.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see it as being hated as much. Um, I don't think people hate this one, and I think that's good because yeah, you watch it, it goes, yeah, I think this still scratches that itch that people want out of stuff like Sean and Hot Fuzz. Um, yeah, I think it's one that when people do find out about it, because I guess maybe not as many people find out about it because it was, it was a it was made, I guess, 6 years after Hot Fuzz, because Hot Fuzz was made 3 years after
Yeah,
Sean. This,
2007 to 2013, I believe.
yeah, that's a pretty big leap. I mean, in between, Edgar Wright was working on Scott Pilgrim, so that's why.
Yeah, and
Um,
then Nick Frost and Simon Pegg did Paul,
oh yeah,
everyone's favorite Paul. Have you
yeah.
seen Paul?
I
Uh,
have. I don't think I have it logged on Letterbox because I guess I watched it before I got Letterbox, but I have seen it. I remember it being funny, but obviously
I like it.
not on the same level as these three.
Yeah, it's not even close, but I don't know. I still enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I thought it was fun.
yeah. I mean, it's Seth Rogen as an alien. Like,
Hmm.
you know what you're getting into when you hear that. So
Yeah, I think like just World's End being less funny than the other two,
mm,
and like having more CGI noise, I guess, as people would call it, because like
yeah.
the entire like final resolution is just like like the three survivors talking to a big CGI light in the sky. Which, fair enough, that's not really as interesting as like the final battle with Skinner or like the pub stuff in Shaun
Hmm.
of the Dead,
Yeah.
which understandable. And I do agree that like maybe the big light thing completely giving up on humanity after a 2 minute conversation with Gary King is like maybe that part can feel a little rushed. Like we only find out about the world ending stakes 2 minutes before the world ends. So yeah, I guess in that sense, like the higher scale stuff does come a little bit out of nowhere.
Hmm.
I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, I have no problems calling this my least favorite of the three because again, the first two are just I mean, they're literally so iconic. It's they're just so good. But like I still will go to bat for The World's End. I think it's really good.
Hmm.
All I think it deserves to be on the same level as the other two, and I think a lot of people do think that it's just they're just not on the same level with everybody as Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. Because you hear Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, those movies carry some weight with them. Whereas I feel like The World's End, it's getting there ever so slowly.
Yeah, I think like the difference in letterbox averages speaks to it because I think Sean's got like a 3.9, Hot Fuzz has got like a 4.1, and World's End has got I think a 3.6, which is still really good.
Yeah.
But like Hot Fuzz I think is like closing in on like top 500 of all time on the site, and Shaun of the Dead is like anything close to or at a 4.0 is generally like really widely beloved. So like those two being around that mark, whereas World's End isn't, there is a very clear gap.
Hmm.
But like to his credit, I respect it even more so than the other two. World's End is not afraid to just get really weird.
Oh yeah,
like
no, I agree.
the really like freaky imagery with all the aliens running out with outstretched hands and blue light pouring from their faces.
Yeah,
Like it's so silly but really fun. I
yeah,
love like the statue comes to life after they call attention to it earlier.
yeah. Again, it's still that same thing of like every line of dialogue, every detail is brought back in one way or another later
Mhm.
on.
Yeah, it's definitely not the same like masterclass of setup and payoff
No,
as the other two, but it's still got a lot of like things that come back later, even if it's not like every minute line of dialogue and joke that is made getting repurposed later on.
right?
Like it
Yeah.
still has some of that,
Oh,
which I can
absolutely.
respect. It's going for like a little bit of a different thing compared to the other two.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right though. It is a very weird movie. I was watching it yesterday. I started it and then I had to stop it because I had to do a movie night with friends and we watched Biodome.
Christ.
And then after that I finished World's End. I go, "Oh yeah, I hot take everybody, but I think The World's End is better than Biodome."
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
look,
I've got a movie night tomorrow where I'm watching Lion King 2019 with a friend. So you know what? I think
ooh,
World's End's probably going to be better than that.
ooh, I think Biodome is better than that movie. Jesus, like
The bar's off. The bar's underground.
yeah, yeah. I know Biodome is seen as one of the worst movies ever made. It's not great, but I got some ironic enjoyment out of it watching, especially watching it with friends. If I watched it on my own, that would be miserable.
Yeah,
So yeah. Oh yeah. If
I'll
you're
take a live, or I'll take an earnest bad movie over Disney live action remake slop any day.
oh yeah, that's gonna be rough. Lion King 2019. I have not seen that since seeing it in theaters back in 2019. And when I saw it in theaters, it was literally just me and my sister. There was nobody else there.
One of my friends is like doing a ranking of every motion capture animated movie, and that was on the list. And I said, "Hey, I'm morbidly curious. You want to hop on a Discord call?"
What? So
And
that's including stuff like Polar Express and
yes, I
Beowulf.
think there was a shorter list than I expected. I think it was like 23. I want to
Oh wow,
say I
jeez.
have 23 films, and both of the live action Lion King movies are on there.
Yeah, they count. What else would count? Like Avatar, I guess.
Tintin,
Tintin. Okay,
Avatar
Tintin.
Avatar doesn't count because that's not like a fully animated
Okay,
movie.
okay. But like, oh, so yeah, Tintin. I can see counting. Mars Needs Moms.
Uh,
I would imagine's on there.
yep, I did point that out as one that I wanted to watch as well.
Ooh,
Monster House,
Monster House. Oh
both
yeah,
Happy
Monster
Feet,
House. Wait, which one?
both Happy Feets.
Both Happy Feet. That counts. That was motion
Yep,
capture.
they were motion capture. I had to watch
No
those a
shit.
couple of years back, and you know what? I didn't think they were as bad as people made them. They were bad, but like
Yeah,
not
yeah, they're
as
bad.
bad as I've heard.
uh,
um,
oh wow, yeah, interesting. Yeah, I you know what? Motion capture is one of those things you always hear about with like Polar Express or the Jim Carrey Christmas Carol, but like, wow,
mhm.
23 still. That's still a lot more than I was thinking.
That was less than I thought, honestly, because like an entire style of animation over the course of like several decades, only getting 23 films just
Yeah, that's
doesn't
true.
feel right. Especially because he did the same with like he compiled a list of stop motion, and that was well over 100.
Oh yeah, stop motion makes sense to me though because yeah, you get a lot
Yeah,
more with that. I don't know,
mhm,
100. Yeah, even that's a lot. Jeez.
yeah.
Um oh yeah, wow. All those movies and one of the best ones is Monster House.
Yeah, he's like I think he was having like a really good time towards the first half of the list, and then I think he watched a specific one. I think as soon as he hit Happy Feet, things just took a turn for the
Oh, dude,
worse.
Happy Feet. Yeah. Monster House though does
Yeah.
rule. I love Monster House.
Mhm. Yeah, he's watching them in alphabetical order.
Oh, okay.
So Lion King's next, and then we might double feature Mars Needs Mums and Monster House at a later date.
That's a crazy double feature. I mean, it's let me tell you. I mean, Monster House, yeah, that's one of those movies where it's like you'd think it'd be bad, and then you watch it, you go, "Oh wait, no, this does rule." It's the animation style that does make it kind of look weird. Oh man, you're gonna love Monster House pairing it with
I'm
Mars
looking
Needs Mom,
forward to
because
it.
you watch Mars Needs Moms, and that's one of those movies that always got dunked on growing up. Like everybody hated it. I'm like, is it really that bad? And then I watched it, I go, oh. It's worse. It's
I did watch so I've never seen Monster House in full,
yeah.
but so when I was really young, I would be sent to like a family friend whenever I needed to be babysat while my parents were at work. And like one day I just walked into the living room while Monster House was playing on the TV. And it got to the bit of the old guy going, "Do you want to be eaten alive?" And I just freaked me the fuck out. I never went back to it.
Oh, that's so funny. I mean, with that animation style, I don't blame you. Yeah, that's a freaky looking movie.
It scared the shit out of me.
But,
again, never been good with horror
I know.
of any kind.
But then you watch the movie and you go, "Oh wait, no, it actually is really good." Like it's one of those secretly good movies. Because again, yeah, you wouldn't think so. The animation looks horrendous and creepy, and it looks like terrifying. But then you watch it, it is disturbing and terrifying, but it is really good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because I need to finally be able to have stakes in the ongoing debate in my friend group of could the Monster House beat up Springtrap from Five Nights at Freddy's. That's been a long standing question.
I have no dog in the FNAF fight, but like I'll say Monster House only because I've seen Monster House. Are we talking FNAF like movies or just FNAF in general?
All of it.
All of it. Yeah. Okay. So then I have no dog in that fight because I've never actually played the games. I never will. But I've only ever seen the first FNAF. And wait, was Springtrap even in the first FNAF? I don't even remember.
Was, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Well, like, he hasn't gotten to like the rotting stages of Springtrap yet. But,
okay. Yeah.
The golden Bonnie suit is in it, and there's a post-credit teaser for the second movie where he's showing up. He's going to be the villain of the third one.
Oh yeah, it's so exciting! I can't wait.
I'm very excited. I still got to watch the second one. I hear it's abysmal dog shit, and I shouldn't wait too long to get to it.
I mean, yeah, no, it's one of those movies I heard like FNAF fans loved it, and everybody else was like, "What the fuck is this?" Which makes me I'm not opposed to watching it. I'm just saying, guys, I'm not a FNAF head, so like I don't really give a shit. But I'm sure I'll watch it, you know, never say never.
I love sitting and listening to lore videos because it's just fascinating listening to people try and piece the lore together from the cryptic clues.
Oh, brother, if I had the time, I would sit down and watch all the FNAF videos, but life is short, you know?
It's good background noise at work.
It sounds it. Yeah, I'd love, maybe someday.
Maybe someday. We gotta indoctrinate you into the FNAF
lore into the FNAF lore cult, yeah. Just it's like the cult in Hot Fuzz. It's for the greater good.
We brought it all back around.
The greater good.
Back into the Cornetto trilogy.
Yeah. Anything else to say about World's End then? With that said,
World's End, I only took notes for the first two. By the time I'd finished that, we were about ready to start the call up. But I watched it earlier today. I think if there was anything else on my mind about it, it would have come to me.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. I mean, it's a really good trilogy too. So,
one of my favorites ever. Maybe my all-time favorite trilogy.
Ooh, that's a bit spicy. Well, it's not spicy. I mean, it's understandable.
I gotta watch more trilogies though. There's definitely like some out there that probably can contend with it. But
yeah,
it's gonna be hard to beat one that has two of my favorite movies ever made.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, for me, I guess I would say the Star Wars trilogy is my favorite. But
I do love the Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah. But I said the Star Wars. Which one am I talking about? Ooh, you'll never know.
The sequels, obviously.
Yeah,
they fly now.
Yeah, Rise of Skywalker, the best.
Dude, I had to rewatch Rise of Skywalker for a video a couple years back. Oh Christ!
Yeah.
I laughed when the jet trooper showed up before the they fly now scene. Like, oh, it's coming! It's coming!
See, at least you can gain happiness from that. That's good.
Yeah,
it's good for that. What else is it good for? Nothing.
Very little.
Very little.
I do regularly just think of I'm the spy out of nowhere and start giggling to myself.
Yeah, in fairness, I do say I don't care if you win. I just want this person to lose.
It's a quotable movie, but for all the wrong reasons. It has some of that prequel appeal. I'll be honest.
Yeah, but it will never be the prequels, though.
Yeah, it'll never be Revenge of the Sith. I'd say in terms of quotability, it might be on par with like Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones for me.
Well, anyway, good movies. World's End, Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead. Yeah, I'm definitely keeping this Blu-ray. I think, I mean, by the time I was done with Shaun of the Dead, I mean, this is a Blu-ray where it's like, am I keeping it? Like, no shit, I'm keeping it. All 3 movies are fucking bangers, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, no, this is great. I love watching these movies. I could watch any of them on their own, but I usually just end up watching them in order anyway. But, I mean, either way, I just love rewatching them whenever I get the chance to. So definitely keeping for the collection and definite rewatches forever and ever.
Absolutely. This will not be the last time I see them. If Hot Fuzz gets a 20th anniversary re-release in cinemas next year, I will be there day one.
Ooh, yeah. I should definitely plan on that too. That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
All right, Biff. I'd say that's about time. The time is now for you to shout out your stuff, dude. Where can people find you?
Well, if you want to see more of my bad film takes, I have a letterbox that will be linked in the description. You can see that I've just been through the Tom and Jerry trenches of every single direct-to-DVD Tom and Jerry film, and some of those are a little bit good.
Yeah,
most of those are not a little bit good.
I don't remember. Did you end up watching Magic Ring recently, or have you not gotten to that one yet?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
That was the first one.
Okay,
I finished all of them.
Yeah. I'm very nostalgic for Magic Ring.
I like Magic Ring. It's one of the few that I watched as a kid, and I was really happy that it held up as a fun movie when Nutcracker Tale did not.
Oh, yeah. No, I feel like I would have watched parts of the racing one on Cartoon Network way back in the day, or even the Mars one, like clips of it on Cartoon Network when they were playing, but I don't think I've ever seen them all the way through. Magic Ring I've seen all the way through. Okay.
I think I was the same, because like there's a scene near the end of Fast and the Furry where like Tom and Jerry are like kind of, their cars are just inching towards the finish line, and the announcer keeps like switching back and forward. I'm like, I think I've seen this scene before, but I've never watched the movie in its entirety. That and the Mars one, those are good choices for ones to have seen bits of, because they are the 2 best ones, and it's not particularly close.
I would imagine.
Yeah, they're really, really good. I would recommend them. Honestly, they're really fun.
Yeah, but I'd also recommend the original run of cartoons as well, because I have them all. I have the Blu-ray set because I got them for Christmas. Oh, dude, so cool.
I saw you've been logging a bunch of those, and I've been tempted to go back and watch a bunch of them myself.
Yeah, a bunch of them I think are still on Tubi. So that's good. I know the Chuck Jones collection's on Tubi, so that's the next step, is to do the Chuck Jones ones. I know those ones are hated, but I didn't mind the ones that I saw growing up watching. But obviously, you know, the original run, like the fucking Yankee Doodle Mouse, fucking Zoot Suit Cat, Heavenly Puss, like
Heavenly Puss, what a banger!
Cat Concerto, so good, so fucking good. Little Orphans, one of my personal favorites. Yeah, just so many bangers.
Yeah, like after seeing a bunch of mid and bad Tom and Jerry stuff, it really gives me an appreciation for the better stuff in the classics.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tom and Jerry tangent there. So yeah, you're letterboxed. What else you got?
I'm on Blue Sky only to update my media thread and like photos of people's pets, and that's really about it. And YouTube, where I sometimes post videos, not as frequently as I've been meaning to, but I've got like 14 videos in the works right now, and over half of them are over half an hour long. So why do I keep doing this to myself?
What am I doing?
What am I doing? But yeah, I've got some movie videos in the works, some video game stuff in the works, and just whatever else I feel like yapping about. I think I mentioned this to you earlier, Hal, but since I've rewatched the Cornetto trilogy for this, I'm probably just going to write up a video and make one for my own channel as like a shorter project between those feature-length projects.
Hell yeah,
so
dude.
That'll be fun.
Fuck yeah, dude. Totally.
I'll probably be using this episode of the podcast as a means to give myself notes for what to talk about.
Please play it during the video. In fact, just take the episode and put it on your channel.
Yeah, I'll say, oh, so here's my thoughts on Shaun of the Dead, and then just play that half-hour segment. Anyway, so here's my thoughts on Hot Fuzz, and play that.
Yeah, just do that. Sure, why not?
And there's my very real scripted thoughts on all three movies.
Yeah. Ignore the other guy talking, the one that doesn't have the Scottish accent.
Yeah, that's actually just me doing a voice.
Yeah.
And talking to myself. I'm doing a character. Citizen Howell was never real. It was a social experiment. Thank you for participating.
Totally. Yeah, dude. No, awesome. Thanks for doing this. I'm so happy to have the Cornetto trilogy done in an episode of Too Many Movies. And I promise, next time I have you on, it'll be on Chuck E. Cheese in the Galaxy 5000. What we'll pair it with, that's yet to be seen. But one of the movies will be Chuck E. Cheese in the Galaxy 5000.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me back on. It's been nice to be back on after all this time, and I look forward to the Chuck E. Cheese episodes. I think since that's me cursing you with an in-joke movie from what me and my friends have stumbled across, if you want to have me suffer through a really bad like Tubi original you found, that could maybe be the shout for that.
Yeah, why don't you guys watch The Adventures of the American Rabbit?
Adventures of the American Rabbit. All right.
Yeah, that's the movie I got drunk at and got angry at. Just watch that.
Yeah. All right. I might give that a cheeky little watch if that's what we set up for the next episode I'm on. I'm sure we'll find something.
We're spreading the bad.
We're spreading the bad.
We're spreading the bad.
Can that be the description of the video? Just we're spreading the bad.
I won't even describe the movie. Yeah, I'll just say we're spreading the bad. I gotta. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Goodbye.